Hello, hey, hi, everybody, social media family of subscribers and any visitors to that being in my own personal channel, chat room, and our comment section. Whereas, although, regardless of how my social media family could possibly become or be a whatsoever, whatever racist, but then not necessarily being whatsoever, whatever walks of life, factions of society, lifestyle preferences, compared on to any visitors who could possibly be both, being not only whatsoever racist as any of my subscribers or any members of my social media family, but then could possibly be whatsoever, whatever walks of life, factions of society, lifestyle preferences. Then hopefully none of my subscribers or members of my social media family are likewise whatsoever, whatever, walks of life, factions of society, lifestyle preferences. Then even if they were to have become or be, just as long as none would go about that other nonsense coming off like some some sort of type of an internet troll, among other social rejects or undesirables, then I guess I have no problem with them. Though I would much rather prefer that, you know, the majority, most or all would be of the much more traditional or close to normal walks of life, factions of society, or lifestyle preferences. Yes. But then how are you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay. If not better yet to be said, to be feeling all right, or if not best of all to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours are family and friends. Hopefully me and mine likewise as well, all the same, or whatever I have said. They are speaking correct, proper standard English grammar of the American dialect, being of some or such quality and quantities or not. So I say and or state for that being a record that I wish you all well. Then now that I've gotten the basic preliminaries or intro as an introduction out the way, then maybe or maybe not I speed dial the subject matter at hand. I may have to do just that. Yeah, I could possibly have a mind's attention with it being quite a late hour as it is. You notice or witness that I am yawning quite a bit because it's way past my bedtime hour of 11 p.m. Being a which is the bedtime hour that I had established or set it for myself, regardless of any proverbial neighbors from hell of El stupido dumb coughs, morons or idiots and or sickos who will continue to attempt to make my life a living damn hell by whatever means that the lights could go about attempting to do just that, being of which would be complimenting or reflective of the 2 cent power plays. That stupid does as stupid feels and it takes all kinds to make a world. Yeah. Anyway, though, my established bedtime hour is supposed to be 11 p.m. Here it is like something like going on 3 in the morning, give or take. But I had just decided to compose this present social media broadcast video or whatever one wants to make of it, being it because it is of most extreme importance. You know, so I would sacrifice some hours of my sleep, well, hopefully, just on occasion, once in a blue moon, whereas I could have possibly, scheduled this for a later given date and time and for a much more acceptable hour, you know, be able to be for, you know, the daytime, morning or afternoon, or for an evening. But seeing how I am up and about at the moment, barely, you know, keep myself awake, or hopefully I could go to sleep in due time, regardless of how proverbial neighbor from hell or one of the dime a dozen public nuisances of problem neighbors or characters could possibly attempt to sabotage my sleeping patterns, as he usually would attempt to do so. You know. Then I take quite a bit of sleeping meds anyway, as in medicines, to help me go to sleep. You know. But then when push comes to shove, if he himself were to want to come off like some kind of an intruder or home invader, then I would have to resort to some such means to go about the necessary business of self-preservation, as in self-defense. And that is why, each and every one of us are civilized, sane persons compared on to the crazies in the world, should keep a working, not only a working home phone, but a working cell phone as well, you know. And because we're living in biblically prophetic times, and as there is an increased age of lawlessness, among other things, and especially, like, say, for example, when the big business CEOs or corporate bosses go about with a hate crime in their own right by continuing to attempt to destroy the planet Earth, as they would have a mindset to go about, you know, taking from it than to give back to it, being of which is a hate crime in its own right, as they think in a line of thought of profits over people or persons. And that's wrong when they have to live by the planet's resources as well as anybody else. And I don't know of any other planet throughout the universe that can or could possibly sustain human life or animal life for that matter, or plant life, even so. You know what I'm saying? And for that last mention, so far of a subject matter or topic discussion, well, it would complement the title as you see it for this particular social media broadcast or video as we have it. All right. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, though, and now that we have gotten the preliminary basic intro as an introduction out the way, it makes me piss and mad to think that these big business CEOs, so I say, and speaking upon the subject matter at hand now, how they are destroying the planet and continue to do so. I mean, we have got to recognize and realize more people or persons, regardless of race, walk of life, age, or gender, have got to stand up and be counted, have got to protest against these big business corporations because they're destroying life as we know it in any regard. Can't you all see that, peeps and folks? We've got to come together before it becomes or be too late. We're talking about not only animal lives, but we're talking about human lives. When the big business corporations are permitted to engage in all this transmissions of gas emissions, or mining wherever in the world, if one life is threatened, one human life is threatened, or one animal life is threatened for that matter, then all lives are threatened. All lives matter. Yeah. We only have one planet. We only have one planet to live on. As it is, be it on the planet Earth, for all species of creatures. You hear? Even for plant life, we only have one planet to live on. Out of the mouths of babes, and Greta Thunberg is right. We must, each and every one of us, speak up now against the big business CEOs, big business corporations. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to wipe my ass with the fingers of my other hand that I wipe my nose with. In the midst of this confusion, thinking about how these confused industrialists or big business CEOs, they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see the big picture. I mean, the destruction of the planet, the serious consequences of destroying it. I mean, it could possibly be closer than we think, upon the horizon. And we have all these different space cadets, those who represent the filthy rich are the one percenters that own the majority of most of the planet's resources, compared on to how the other 99% of us don't, of humans. Whereas they're building all these different spaceships or rockets to go up into outer space, to go to other planets, when that is just a waste of money, that could be funneled into something much more worthwhile, something that would be a more worth or value, however said, and being of which is to increase the lifespan of our own human species, and that of even so the animal kingdom. I mean, it's kind of crazy or insane to me for the filthy rich to go about that of something altogether different than what they should be focusing upon, being of which is to save the planet, and at the same time save not only the human race or the human species, but the animal kingdom and plant life, vegetation, and so forth. The air and the water, etc. They can't see the forest for the trees. It's a shame, as the majority, most of them don't. Then I'm about to wrap this up in a couple few minutes, give or take. And I would usually give the greetings. Greeting, basic introduction. Go through the preliminary, then I will speak upon the subject matter, maybe a couple few, 4 more. It all depends on how I feel. And then I will give the closing as usual. And if I had to force myself to say so, Not to mention come naturally for me to say just that, as I usually do. Or so I paraphrase, not quote exactly, in words I would put in more words or less, by saying, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I will hope that you would think to do so now of a mind's attention while the blood is still running warm in your veins, while the evil days come not. By recognizing or realizing what he himself had done or did, however, see upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of Roman soldiers who had nailed him there, as they were up under orders of their superiors, religious and otherwise, uh, centurions and Caesars and Pharisees and Sadducees, etc. But then nevertheless, as he went to that cross of Calvary, he became the perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me, so that if any of us, being of whatsoever races and whatever walks of life, factions or societal lifestyle preferences, being the old and young alike of both the two sexual genders, associated with and are representing not only the human species, but then nevertheless the global community within this post 911 era, new millennium of apocalyptic day and age, where the doomsday clock is now at a couple few minutes to midnight, compared on our formerly, previously or prior to then was at a quarter midnight for these rather biblically prophetic times, for these end times, for these last and evil days, or to profess some such faith in them. From there, we become be blessed in one regard or another, more ways than one. First and foremost, with this salvation, being which is the only means by which any of us can or could possibly hope to become citizens of the kingdom of heaven, once we were to make that transition for the great beyond over hereafter, for the afterlife. Then, second of all, we would be blessed with his deliverance while we're still here upon the planet Earth. But first, we have got to get his salvation, being not just the much more important, but the most important blessing. Otherwise, you have nothing coming so far as blessings is concerned. And when you were to cross on over to the other side to a different existence, whereas this one, as we know it, upon the planet Earth or in this world, is temporary compared to any other upon the opposite side, this existence is permanent. Whereas if you don't have that blood sacrifice of our Lord and Savior Christ, Messiah delivered upon and within your soul as an insurance policy for the hereafter or the afterlife or the great beyond, and your final destination will be the lake of fire, damn hell, to suffer with the rest of the unsaved, lost, damn human souls of unbelievers and unbelievers who died in their sins without the blood sacrifice and salvation of Christ, who will be tortured and terrorized by the devil and his demons forever in the lake of fire, damn hell, compared to how we as believers in God, as in Christians, aka Protestants, will be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, in the company of like-minded believers in that same thought sense word, and in the presence of God and his angels otherwise. Hey, you all take care and be safe. Be blessed, not stressed if and when you can or could possibly become or be of some or such a status as that being if you're not already. And I'll holler at you later. So until then I guess it's a wrap. We out. Peace and love, joy and happiness.